You can get paid for being you. I've been getting paid to be me for several years now. And in the last month alone, I have made $24,000 from one membership. And that $24,000 is recurring. It's monthly recurring revenue. So next month, it'll be 24,000 and next month and so on. And if I build it, it will be even higher than that over time, even with churn. So I wanted to talk to you today about how I got here and how you can turn who you are into cash. I talk about becoming money in my book, It's About Damn Time, and in my YouTube videos. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Arlan. I've invested more than $30 million into 200 plus startups. And 10 years ago, I was homeless. So there's a lot in between. I have two books. One is called It's About Damn Time, and one is called Your First Million. Now, memberships. Why am I so big on memberships? I'm talking about it so much these days. Well, I want you to do something for me. And I want you to stick around because I think this might help you. I want you to imagine what you love doing. Like somewhere you may love traveling, your favorite place to be, maybe in your own city, or a hobby. Like for me, I love to travel. I don't have like a favorite city necessarily, but I love to travel. And I love photography. Like I love to take pictures. And I love going to concerts. I could be at a concert every night for the kind of music I like if you let me. And in the last few years, more recently, I've had the opportunity to have an even better experience at concerts because I've been able to buy tickets for the front row or buy a suite and invite several of my friends to join me in that suite for these big shows. Last year, I went to see Pink and we had this great suite at a stadium and it was just amazing. And the reason I bring this up is because I want you to imagine those moments for yourself. Like, where is your happy place, essentially? I'm going to do it too. I want you to imagine that because I want you to imagine that from now on, you get to do that whenever you want to. You do not have to wait to be able to afford it because you will be able to. And you do not have to wait for anybody's permission to do it because you will not be shackled by certain time constraints of a job, a 9 to 5. So I want you to imagine that and feel deeply what that would feel like to do that. In the comments right now, if you're imagining that, tell us where your happy place is. Like what is that for you and what are you imagining right now? And I want you to imagine a world and a life not too far from now, not too distant from here, where you get to wake up whatever time you want to wake up. Now, obviously, if you have family and, people running, little ones running around, that may be a little difficult. But in general, you don't have a boss calling you to ask you where you are, and you're not getting in trouble with anybody. And then that week, your favorite musician is in town, they have a concert, and you're going to go see them in the front row. And you're going to bring a few friends with you because you can. The reason I make these videos, and you can look around and see all of them if you want, is because I want you to feel that feeling in real life. And it's because I know that you can. There are a few ways you can do it. There are 3 or 4 ways I have observed by generating millions of dollars, raising millions of dollars, being around. I have been around thousands of millionaires. That's not an exaggeration. If you read my books, you'll know why. Being around all of them, I know that it is attainable for almost every person watching this. And it doesn't have to be millions. It can be just the amount that you need to have the life that you want. And one of those ways, this is why I'm so passionate about this, is memberships. I want to say one more thing, and I want to put you in this headspace. And again, stick with me because I think this is going to really be helpful for some of you. 10 years ago, I was homeless. And 9 years ago, I was sleeping on the floor of the San Francisco airport because I had nowhere else to go. And I wanted to be somewhere that was at least indoors, even though it was soul sucking to be there and to watch people walk by me as I laid on the floor at night. I used my jeans rolled up as a pillow. I put the piece of luggage that I did have in front of my face so I wouldn't have to look anyone eye to eye. And there's a whole reason that happened, and that was for several years that I was in these different predicaments. You can read about it in my books, and I talk about it in my videos. But if I had this opportunity, then I don't think I would have been in that place. In fact, I know I would not have been. That's another reason I'm so passionate about this, because so many of us have the ability in front of us, but we're not reaching for it, or we haven't been told about it. So I'm going to tell you about it right now. I'm going to get to it, right? Memberships. Memberships can be about almost anything. They can be about your hobby, your skill, your talent. It could be about something that you already do, like as a 9 to 5, and something that you then translate over. You translate over. But I want to focus on this video about how it comes from within. It's like truly you bringing this out. So when you thought about your happy place and what you like doing in your hobby, could that in itself be translated and transferred over to a membership? Let's just do an exercise, okay? So let's think about your favorite hobby and let's pretend that yours is knitting. I'm going to say knitting. I don't know why, but let's say it's knitting. If you like to knit and whatever it is, just kind of replace it with your fave. Imagine every day you could talk to 100 people who were passionate about knitting, and they would learn from you things that you're a few steps ahead of them about. And it's not like a course necessarily, because you actually get to interact with them and they're talking to you 10, 15, 20 of them each day of the 100. They're talking to you. They're leaving messages. They're talking to each other. You're watching and observing that happen. And they're sharing their wins with you. They're saying they're so excited because they figured out this knot that had been just so challenging just weeks before. And the reason they figured it out is because you gave them this information. You gave them a little video that explained the fundamentals to them. And you wrote out a couple of sentences that explained something that was helpful to you when you were learning, so you knew it would transfer to someone else. And then on a Wednesday in any given month, you went online, you went on Zoom, because you set up your calendar that way within this membership. And you, for 30 minutes, sat with them and you showed them in real time and you answered their questions as you were knitting. And so the combination of these things and others has built over time. And you now have a treasure trove of information, of guides, of resources, people's posts, their questions, their own answers, and your answers in this one container. And now the 101 first person joins, and they instantly are transported into this world. And they're welcomed with open arms. And some people may even have met each other in real life as a meetup. And on top of that, whatever your insert word is here for knitting, and put that in the comments and let me know because I'm so curious. On top of that, they're each paying you $30 a month because you're giving them so much value. You're taking them on a journey, and they're excited, and they honestly really appreciate the community that you've built, because it had been lonely learning on their own, and maybe even lonely for other reasons. So you're making $3,000 extra per month because of this. And maybe you spend a few $100s on different things. And that's another story. We'll talk about that a different time. But that could be a little bit of advertising if you even do that. I don't do that myself. I work with YouTube to they pay me to make these videos because you can get monetized. Or maybe it's because you got the equipment and the different materials that you need that cost money. Or maybe you gave something away in your membership and that costs a little money. But all in all, you're just making this extra, call it $2,500 a month after a few expenses, and you're still working your other job, but that's happening over there. And every month, 10 or so new people join when you count the people who leave. 10 new more people than the month before. And so 6 months into it or 10 months into it, you're like, I have 200 people in this membership. I'm making 6 grand a month to talk about and hang out with people who love the thing I love. And I'm going to decide I get paid 5 grand a month at my other gig at my 9 to 5. I think I'm going to do my exit plan. I think in a few months, I'm going to be out of here. And you do that because you weigh it and you say, I feel confidence in this. And you weigh the different options that you have. Now, everybody's journey is going to be different. But imagine yourself able to take what you love, what makes you you, what people say about you, they think about you when they think of your name. And you're actually able to turn that into a community. One thing, speaking of, one of my members in Arlan's All Access, my community that teaches you all about this, they asked me in a Q&A, they said, is memberships for everyone? Or are memberships for everyone? And I said it's not for everyone because I don't think anything is for everyone, but I think it's for a lot of people. And I think that if you're having trouble imagining if you can have a membership, if that's realistic, you can replace the word membership for community. So think about the type of membership you would want, and then just replace the word. I have a knitting community. Does that shift anything in you? Does that give you any more confidence or change anything? If it does, put it in the comments, let me know. But if you're still watching this, I have a feeling that you are someone who would be a great leader of a community, of a membership. And it's about you. It's about everything that you can bring. You know how they say, bring yourself to work, bring your full self to work. Are you able to do that? Really? Are you truly able to bring your full self to work? Think about you in your most authentic place. I know that for me, when I'm working on my membership, my community, I get to be myself completely. I don't have to ask anybody for permission. I don't have to wonder. I have to be kind, and that's who I am, so that works out. But I don't have to be anything I don't want to be. I get to be a leader. I get to work with people who share my vision and who are so giving themselves. We create mutual value for each other, and it shows. And I feel like I am 110% me. How does that feel to you in your core when you think about that feeling? Does it stir something in you? And I wanted to stir something in you because I need to shake you a little bit out of where you are. So many people comment on my YouTube videos, or they reach out to me, or they meet me in person and they talk to me about they're not where they want to be in life. And they're like, oh, it must be nice. Or they're like, I don't know, that's for somebody else. But imagine you taking just a few minutes right now to explore your identity, to explore what makes you you, what makes you tick, what makes you happy, and to think about what could be valuable for someone else. And imagine then joining Arlan's All Access, my membership, for just a small amount of money, really, compared to what you get, and giving yourself a few weeks to just work on this. How different could your life be in 6 months? How different could your life be in 6 months? Write that in the comments. How different could my life be in 6 months. Say that in the comments if you're still with me. Now, there's a vulnerability that you're going to have to tap into if you do this, because you're going to have to ask yourself some serious questions, and you're going to have to decide if what you're going to do with your one time, with your one life, right? I know another thing is that people think that they're not ready for a membership. They feel like I'm too early in this. I don't know enough. I understand that. And like I said, it's not for everyone, but I believe that everyone can be taught how to start this membership, just like you can be taught how to become a millionaire. That's why I wrote my book, Your First Million, because I know that people can be taught how to become a millionaire. And I've taught people to do this. Like, this is, I know this. So you can be taught how to develop your voice and to launch a membership. In fact, in Arlan's All Access, my membership that you can go to, the link is in the description. We teach you, I teach you, and the group teaches you how to find your unique value proposition. And if you don't know what that means, you will. You can also Google it now or look it up on YouTube now, but you'll learn how to find your own with so much support, so much support. And then you use that, like what makes me me, what makes you you, to then figure out what's the best membership that you could create that would be helpful to others. Here's another cool thing. It's just a little bit of advice or tip before you get into Arlan's All Access, just for free. You don't have to charge for your membership at first. Your membership can be a free membership, and that actually can make you as much money as a paid membership. If that's intriguing to you, come on in. Let me teach you and explain it to you. And it's very, very, very cool. Now, I don't know if you use ChatGPT or not. ChatGPT, I don't know if it has a free version. I'm sure it does. And then I know that you do pay like $20 a month if you want the more advanced version. I just don't know 100%. I should know that. I'm an investor in it, so I should know, but I don't. Anyway, if you use ChatGPT, or even if you don't and you want to get an account, there is a prompt that I have created with ChatGPT. There is a prompt that is very specific and very particular, that if you put this prompt, you type this in or paste it into ChatGPT and ask it and put in your own information where it says to, it will give you an unlimited number of precise, detailed ideas for what your membership could be based on who you are. So with that, it saves you days, weeks, months, and sometimes years of figuring that part out. Again, if I had all of these things that we have today, all of these opportunities, I don't think I would have been homeless 10 years ago. And it makes me sad to think that, but it also makes me very, very happy for other people. So if you are a doctor, if you are a therapist, a coach, if you are working at a retail, if you are working at a 9 to 5 in corporate, if you have ever contributed to your company, done work for it, typed, I type really fast. I could have a membership about typing. If you have done anything to contribute to the world and to your company, you can have a membership about that thing or about something else. You can make money. Now, inside of Arlan's All Access, I break down and give you a chart of all the pricing. I tell you like step by step how to launch, what words to put in, every single step of the way. You are someone, regardless of if you start a membership or not, if you do the thing I'm asking you to do or not, you have more power and autonomy over your life and your future and your circumstances than you could ever imagine. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart because it has been such an eye opener for me over this past decade to go from someone who had to, like, I was on food stamps and I was always rejected for jobs, and it always felt like the world was against me and my family. To go from that to someone who, I don't fly unless it's first class. I don't really care about private jets, but I like first class, right, on flights. I stay at really nice hotels. I go to concerts when I want to. And I get suites if I want to, at those concerts, or front row tickets, or VIP backstage passes. It's not to brag, although I don't think there's a problem with bragging. I think we should brag, especially in these circumstances. So brag on yourself. But it's to illustrate that if I can go from being homeless, sleeping on the floor of an airport, to having more freedom like I have now. And not, by the way, I'm not finished. I have many, many more tiers to go, right? But if I can do that in that short amount of time, and I'm also teaching you how to make it much, much shorter amount of time, then why wouldn't you listen to that? It doesn't mean you have to join my membership, although I hope you do. What it means is you can watch 3 more of my videos on YouTube and get much more information. Look at the comments people are leaving. Think about this for yourself. Watch this another time if you need to. One more time. Put it on loop. All right. I hope that was helpful to you. I'll see you in Arlan's All Access.